Hi there, Rob Cosberg here with Bestseller Publishing. You can find us online at bestsellerpublishing.org. Today I'm going to use my fancy schmancy 9-box here, and I'm going to share with you our Publish, Promote, Profit trademark program, and specifically how you can go from not having a book at all the way to #1 bestseller and begin profiting from your very own best-selling book. Stay tuned and we'll talk all about it. Alright, so welcome back. Here's my fancy schmancy 9-box, 9-step program that we're going to share with you today to publish, promote, and profit with your own best-selling book. We take every one of our clients that does not have a book through this process so they can publish in 3 steps, promote in 3 steps, and begin profiting in 3 steps as well. And this is something that you can imitate if you would like to with your own very best-selling book. So let's talk a little bit about the first 3 steps in the publish phase. In the publish phase, the very first step is what we call the foundation. The foundation, in most cases, is the most important part of making sure that your best-selling book is going to give you exactly what it is that you want from it. So, as an example, most people begin thinking about writing a book many years before they ever come to us. They think about what their knowledge is and maybe how that knowledge could be presented to the world in such a way that could benefit, make an impact on people, give them independence and of course income as well. Here's the challenge though. Oftentimes the author doesn't think really specifically about the audience and who it is that they're trying to attract and who it is that they're trying to impact very, very specifically with their very own best-selling book. In the foundation phase, that's what we do and that's where we start. It takes as many as 1 to 3 sessions, generally with me directly, for us to really dig deep and make sure that we understand who our audience is, who our primary customer is, what end result we're looking for with our book. When we have that nailed, and only when we have that nailed, we then move into the hook and title for our book, and then the content. The content actually flows last after we get the foundation of who our primary customer is and figure out the hook for that primary customer, and then the content usually flows very easily from there. That's building the foundation, and that's how you need to build the foundation for your best-selling book as well. The next step is for us the creation phase. The creation phase. Now, when I wrote my first book, it took me roughly 2 years for me sitting down, kind of gutting it out, grinding it out. And from what I've heard, and I speak to authors every single week, many authors in fact, and from what I've heard, that's kind of common. So when we developed this program, I wanted to kind of eliminate that pain so that we could have somebody go from not having a book at all to having a bestseller in a number of weeks or months rather than in years. So in the creation phase, we use what we call a hybrid ghostwriting process. Our hybrid ghostwriting process is where once we outline the content, we have all that done in the foundation phase, we set up as many as 8 to 10 one-on-one calls with our ghostwriting team. So the author will come to that session with the ghostwriter with a 2 or 3 point outline for that particular chapter and with maybe 1 or 2 stories to really illustrate the points that they're trying to make in that chapter. After they speak for 10 or 15 minutes, just like they were speaking to a crowd of maybe 10, 20, or even 100 people, then we're going to have multiple pages of content. The ghostwriter can, in turn, ask some questions, maybe let the author know that wasn't clear, could we go a little bit deeper on that, or perhaps, you know, a specific question, you know, that I didn't really understand that, maybe your audience won't understand that, could you go into more detail, etc. So after 8 to 10 sessions, we're going to have 100 or even hundreds of pages of material that can then go to the ghostwriting team. The ghostwriting team at that point is then going to begin executing on it, and that is the third step in our publish phase. The third step is where once the content is done, after really just a few weeks, it then goes to the ghostwriting and editorial staff for them to take all of these pages of material, transcripts really, and make it into a real book. Real paragraphs, real bullet points, introductions, conclusions, punchy sentences, so that we have a real readable, powerful book that really gets across our client's message but doesn't take their voice out of it. So if you're thinking about doing something like this on your own, you have to make sure that you don't just put a transcript in a book and call that a book. That's not a book. That's a transcript. You really need to execute. After the ghostwriters are done, of course the client will review it and there may be 1 or 2 versions that need to be done. But we then go into the editing, the formatting, the cover creation. We get it online for both a digital version and a physical version, so we have to get worldwide distribution, ISBN numbers, interior design, exterior design, etc. All of that is done from foundation to creation to the execution phase. So when someone exits this phase, they have a book that is completely done, that's in their voice, that has the perfect cover, and that is online and ready to move into the next phase, which is the promote phase. So in the next phase, the promote phase, we have 3 steps there as well. Step number 1 is the review phase. The first thing that people need to understand is the last thing you want is to pour your heart and soul into a book and then find that no one really is interested in it. No one's buying it. It hasn't been marketed well, hasn't been promoted well. And honestly, traditional publishing, they don't do a very good job at marketing books. That's just the facts. And if you're an author and you've worked with traditional publishing, you know that if you don't have your own platform, you're really dead in the water. So the first thing we do is we need to get our authors' books reviewed. So we work with a number of different author review exchanges. We do a review contest. If you've been on my list for any specific length of time, then you've probably seen the review contests we do. We have clients' books that have been reviewed literally 100 times. Most recently, I think Danny Hewitt's book, This Is How We Hewitt, we launched a month ago. It already has 74 5-star reviews. That's because Danny promoted it as well as all of our promotion. So we need to get at least 8 to 10 4- and 5-star reviews in this first promote step of the promote phase. The next step is what we call the setup. The setup. The setup is for our launch of the book to get it to bestseller status. So here's what we do. We go ahead and we schedule a 5-day promotional launch of our book. We're going to do 3 press releases announcing this book, announcing it as a bestseller, announcing it on promo. We're going to advertise, do paid advertising on over 40 different websites, really laying out that this book is being offered for a short period of time. So in many cases, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in a very short period of time will see the book once we schedule the advertising. We're also going to do social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn if it's appropriate. All of that is going to be scheduled in the setup phase for that 5-day promotional period. The next step is to pull the trigger. That's the launch. That's where all the magic happens. That's where all of this that we've done thus far comes together in that 5-day period. So literally, in that period, thousands of people will download our client's book, so it will shoot up to the top of Amazon. In many cases, it'll become a hot new release, it'll become a top-rated book, and of course it will become a bestseller in its category. That's our guarantee in our Publish, Promote, Profit trademark program. So we pull the trigger and we launch it at that point. For most people, that's not where they want it to end. They also want to make profit from their book. So we focus on 3 areas when it comes to our last and final phase, and this is kind of our coaching program, which lasts for about 6 months. The first thing we focus on is using our book, our client's now best-selling book, to help them and show them how they can get speaking engagements. Speaking engagements could be either free or paid, either way. If it's free, then you need to make sure that you're really crystal clear on what your offer is so people can take the next step with you. Maybe it's a consulting program, maybe you're selling a product or a service, whatever. We help our clients to outline that strategy so they can really profit from the speaking engagements that they'll get. The next thing is free publicity. The P, free publicity. Being a best-selling author opens tremendous doors. That's just a fact. And so there's opportunities for radio. We've had clients that in a year period have gotten 100 radio interviews, that have been on national radio, that have been on national television, that have gotten speaking engagements, speaking to thousands of people. This type of free publicity gives you an opportunity to speak to your ideal client, make them an offer, or for them just to get to know you so that they can take the next steps with you. So we show our clients how to get the free publicity and then monetize that as well. And then last but not least, certainly not least, is good old-fashioned lead generation. For our business owners or coaches or consultants or entrepreneurs or speakers that come to us wanting to write a best-selling book, lead generation is really important. The last thing you want is to have a business that can't generate leads on a consistent basis. It's great to have a best-selling book, but you then need to use that best-selling book in the proper way to build out a funnel that generates leads week in and week out. We show our clients how to do that. We show them how to publish, how to promote, and then how to profit from their best-selling book. If any of this is interesting to you and you'd like to maybe have a 10-minute chat to talk about your ideas for a book, or maybe even a longer strategy session call, if you already have a book and so this phase you don't need, but you want to talk about promote or profit, hey, we're here. You can speak to anyone in our office, one of our project managers. We're in Pasadena, California, so it's Pacific time, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Our number is 626-765-9750. Certainly, I'm happy to speak to you as well, answer any questions that you have, and see if there might be a fit so that we can help you with our Publish, Promote, Profit trademark program. I hope this was helpful for you. These are things that you can do and that you can have in your business to grow your business maybe beyond even your wildest imagination. Thanks so much for being with me. We'll talk again in the next couple of weeks, and I'll share some more strategies.